The UPSC Civil Services exam is one of India's toughest tests. Every year, close to 1 million applicants slog hard, hoping to get into one of the limited number of coveted positions in government civil service. But the first Prime Minister of India once said, "The true test of a civil servant is not how much he knows, but how much he cares." Indeed, this may apply to all those working in government. However, while aptitude and attitude are key, are they enough? Let's hear insights from a former Indian president and a few dedicated civil servants.
Right from the childhood, I wanted to do something for my own people, my farmers, my poor people. That was my dream. And after joining civil services, my dream became a reality.
Yes, I'm a qualified MBBS doctor from Government Medical College. I had always had a social bent, like I wanted to do something for the people. But then I believe being a civil servant, I could serve on a larger scale.
Having a service attitude is important, but according to His Excellency, the former President of India, how they carry out their duties also matters.
The main duty of civil and public servants in a democracy is to implement the policies of the government in every sector of the society in a timely manner with full transparency, loyalty and fairness.
However, even with sincere intentions and actions, these civil servants face many varied challenges.
We are not officers, we are public servants. We are the servant of people because we have to break our egos. We have to think from the perspective of the taxpayer who pays for our salary. And it's easy to say, but difficult to accept because from an officer to a servant, it's a major role shift that's been happening in services and many are finding it difficult.
We have three stakeholders. The first stakeholder is a public, second stakeholder is a politicians, and third stakeholder is our system. While working, we have to follow the system, the rules, regulations. While serving that, the people have a lot of expectation from the civil servants. Our first aim as a government servant, public servant, is to listen to them properly, understand their problems, what issues they have, and how you can resolve the problems promptly. That is the foremost challenge.
At a very young age, you have got a lot of powers. Along with the powers comes a responsibility. And unless and until you handle your powers responsibly, you will not be able to satisfy your higher bosses, political bosses, as well as non-political bosses and the people.
We face a lot of challenges, especially the expectations of government from us as far as delivering our targets throughout the annual targets are very huge. Plus, the kind of manpower we have to help us out is very less. And we are seen through a lot of big lens. Our work is very much analyzed and observed and always commented on, work, review, and all these things are happening. So it's quite a high tension, high stress, high anxiety job.
Maintaining personal integrity under pressure is perhaps one of the biggest challenges they face.
In the current era of social media, every small and big aspect of the government sector becomes the subject of public conversation and discussion, and civil servants are accused of corruption from time to time.
Earlier, when I was working with the state government, there was always a lot of political pressure and a lot of administrative pressure to do things, things which you were not wanting to do for certain reasons, that they are not as per the rules and this and that. You have to follow certain procedures, you have to follow the law. Whereas people on the other side don't understand all of these things. They are more concerned that, my work has to be done. So I remember one situation where my boss had asked me to do a file in a particular way. And for me, it was completely non-doable thing. This was a matter in which stakes of crores of rupees was there, and some higher up in this thing in my hierarchy had said that, you know, you just overlook this thing, like you don't look at this, and that it will be a thing between you and me, that you don't look at this, you know, it's like I'll keep it a secret and all.
The pressure was intense, but luckily she was able to gracefully stand her ground.
Yes, it was a charging situation. This thing was completely unthinkable for me, you know. So the fact that I could say no to him in a very quiet, in a very polite and calm manner, I think comes from Vipassana.
His Excellency and these civil servants often face high pressure in their line of work, but fortunately for them, they share a common bond in dealing with their challenges. They all practice the ancient technique of Vipassana meditation, which was used by the Buddha himself for his own enlightenment 2600 years ago.
I came to know about Vipassana from one of my senior, and he was after me since 2005 that I should do Vipassana, but I think that was not my time. I took nearly more than 10 years to get convinced that I should do Vipassana, and finally in Feb 2016 I went for Vipassana at Global Vipassana Pagoda, and I got an opportunity to know the gem on the earth, Vipassana.
One of our known people had gone and done Vipassana. So me and my mother, way back in 92, did our first course at Dhammagiri. From 92 to 2016, I was busy with my career, children, marriage and everything. But then in 2016, when my husband went for his first course, and when he came back from his first course, he was quite shaken with the experience because those 10 days were very difficult for him. All his fears, probably his anxieties and everything, he confronted it for the first time or whatever had happened for 10 days. When he came back, he also started practicing in the morning and the evening, and we saw the change. Seeing that, we also went for the, I went for the next course, yes.
So I did the first course in Igatpuri in September 2000, and for 10 days course was difficult. I thought of running away in the first 3-4 days, but after the 5th day I got settled, and at the end of the day I was thankful to them who advised me to do this course.
My elder brother, Sri Ramswarup Bharti, had been exposed to Vipassana. So the change in his life encouraged me, and I entered the field of Vipassana in 1996.
I was in civil service at that time. I joined the services, and during my training, just got information of this thing from my relative. And he told me that in our district there is a Vipassana center. Before joining the course, I was just in search of a meditation technique which will guide me in the life, in the search of that technique only. And I got it.
They fully embrace Vipassana because they feel that their commitment and dedication to serving in their respective roles are further strengthened by their practice.
Our response is most important. Our response should be with metta, with friendly attitude, with compassion. This is taught in Vipassana.
You see, after the first camp, I used to practice Vipassana occasionally. But when I was appointed as the governor of Bihar, and I had the good fortune to contribute to the establishment of the Vipassana Center in Patna, I started attending it by organizing 3-day Vipassana courses at the governor's house. It helped me in discharging my duties smoothly as governor of Bihar.
By doing Vipassana courses, I realized my responsibilities. I don't have only power, but I have a lot of responsibilities. Whenever I take a decision or whenever I behave in a certain manner, I need to be more responsible. I always fast track the decisions which were in the interest of the masses, in the interest of my people. But the things which cannot be done or which are not in the interest of the masses, which are not in the interest of the people, I have kept them on a hold, and I have found the right opportunity, right time to convince my bosses why it cannot be done and why it should not be done.
Apart from improvements on how they deal with the public, internally, they found that their work relationships and leadership skills flourished as well.
I was the shouting boss. So she shouted at small things. And all the aura around me was disturbed. When I started doing it, my personal happiness and the happiness around me also increased.
When I came into the civil services, people were so scared of meeting me, nobody used to come to my chamber. Even the local MLAs and MPs were also scared of meeting me. Nowadays, the situation has changed so much, everybody wants to work with me.
Then the fact that I am a superior officer and they are inferior to me, that also underwent a change, because the kind of ego that was nourished being a civil servant, to a very large extent also, got tamed and got calmed down. Relations became much more smoother.